Hi folks, welcome to the first of my battle reports here on the Bull City Wargaming channel. I played Sandler recently and it was my Ogres versus his Warriors. And firstly, let's take a little look at the list I was running. So first up I had a Slaughtermaster level 4 with the Talisman of Protection, gave him the Crown of Command, and he's going to sit in the Gut Star that I've got coming up. Now with the Bruiser here, I gave him the Sword of Striking and the other Trickster's Shard. I was sure that he was going to be running a Demon Prince, and so I figured I'd try and do something whereby I could improve my chances to hit that guy. We'll see how that went in just a second. So there we go. There are the 10 Iron Guts there that form the base of the Gut Star, obviously with the Standard Discipline in there as well. Now recently I have been running 3 Ogres with a Musician, just recently as chaff. I kind of like these guys. They're a bit sturdier than the Saber Tusks that you find in most lists. Got the obligatory 4 Mournfang there with Standard Musician, given them obviously the Dragonhide banner and looking to do a fair bit of damage with those guys. Also taken one of my favourite choices in Warhammer in general, that is the Man-Eaters, because I was sure I'd be facing Chimera, and to give them a chance against that, gave the Flame Banner to them, as well as 2 pistols. They could do a bit of long-range Chimera hunting. Got the obligatory 3 Saber Tusks in there as chaff, and this list I was running, I also took 2 Iron Blasters. Typically I run an Iron Blaster and maybe a Stonehorn in there, but I knew he'd have a bunch of targets flying about that could do a bunch of damage to me early if I didn't get them taken out, so hence why I took the 2nd Iron Blaster there. So let's move on. Basically that is the board. We went rather minimal with terrain. And let's take a quick look at his deployment. So you see he's spread out there. Go into a bit of detail about what he's got. So looking over the table, on my right flank, his left, he got the 5 Warhounds there. He got 3 Skull Crushers standing next to them. Now in front of, you see he's kind of got a little bit of an interesting formation there with the 2 Chimeras. He's got Warhounds in front, and he's actually got the Demon Prince behind the 2 Chimeras there standing. He's then got his big block of Warriors. They're marked with Tzeentch, and they have the Blasted Standard there. And a bunch of characters in the front as well. And on the left flank we've got a Chariot, and we've also got some more Warhounds there. Let's take a quick look at my setup here. And as you can see, again, I'm kind of spread out as he is as well. You can see. So on what's actually my right flank, obviously his left, we've got the Iron Blaster there, Mournfang. We've got the unit of, I think that's the Man-Eaters there with the Saber Tusk in front. The Gut Star there with the General and the BSB in. Got 3 Ogres. Just make out the proxied Iron Blaster there. There you go, it's a better picture of it. Yeah, that guy on top is a Lead Belcher. He is the Iron Blaster. And there you've got this, another Saber Tusk, and there we go. Alright, so first turn for him, he just basically moved everything up. Not an awful lot going on there. But in my turn, I was able to do a little bit with my army. I was able to, as you'll see, make a charge, and actually firstly shot off one of his Chimeras there, and took him down to 1. It's not exactly the one I wanted because I wanted to uncover the Demon Prince, but didn't quite have the shot. Did a charge though with my Saber Tusk into the flank of his Warhounds there, and ended up breaking them. As you'll see, the Saber Tusks there ended up in a pretty decent position in front of the Skull Crushers there, ready to kind of block them off for a couple of turns. Now this is the end of the 2nd turn. He charged and wiped out that Saber Tusk there, overran into the 2nd Saber Tusk there, held him up as I'd hoped. Down at the bottom of the screen, what you can't actually see there is that his Chimera there charged my 3 Ogres, did nasty things to them and wiped them out. There we go. That's a better picture of that. Otherwise, not too much going on there. Just kind of a case of moving up and just kind of filling each other out at this stage. Anyway, at this stage, I charged his warhounds there, got them out of the way, or hoping to get them out of the way with the man-eaters, and moved up the ogres there just to block off. I also got my Iron Blaster out of the way of the Skull Crushers there because I knew that they would be looking to charge in the next round. That's pretty much where the round ended up. I ended up with breaking the hounds, obviously, and running them down. I was hoping to overrun a bit more with the man-eaters so they'd hit the Skull Crushers would hit them, but unfortunately that didn't happen. Now he charged the Mournfang instead with the Skull Crushers. He then got into the Gut Style with his Demon Prince, but the Chimera there is actually not not in combat there. It reformed and it moved up, but it wasn't actually in combat. So Skull Crushers. This is the end of the turn. They wiped the Mournfang in a round, disappointingly for me. He'd actually done a charge at the bottom of the screen, and as you'll see in a sec, with the chariot here, was able to remove the other Iron Blaster. Now what you may have seen in the previous slide, it was that my ogres that he charged with his Warriors of Chaos, the big block in the centre there, he actually didn't manage to break them because I had the Stubborn spell on them, so they hung around holding that unit up. There you go. They held that unit for my turn, which was great for me because they didn't overrun and get into the Demon Prince combat, giving me a bit more of a chance. So this is my turn 3. Gutstar, as I say, you can see them in the combat there with the Demon Prince. Otherwise, the Man-Eaters just reformed around. The Iron Blaster did a charge into the side of the Skull Crushers there, and actually did a wound there. It actually did surprisingly well in the flank and managed to break and run down the Skull Crushers there, which was fantastic news for me. As you can see, the end of that turn, the Warriors of Chaos, they ended up wiping out the remaining ogre there and moving around. In this turn, the Chimera actually managed to get into the flank of the Man-Eaters. He moved up his Chaos Chariot there as well. Now, in this my turn, I charge front of the Warriors with my Man-Eaters, and then at this point, he's still in there with the Demon Prince and now the Chimera, but I did manage to shoot off the chariot at this point, which prevented another thing coming in. Now this is turn 5 for us, and basically at this point, turn 5 was pretty much a grind. He was in combat with, and he ground down my Iron Gut unit with the Chimera and the Demon Prince there. Man-Eaters there again, they were getting taken down, but they were doing a fair bit of damage as well. I mean, 5 attacks each is great. For that kind of thing. Ended up breaking at the bottom of the my turn there. Ended up breaking and killing my general with the Demon Prince and Chimera, and then reformed up. Turn 6, he charged the second Iron Blaster with the Chimera. Demon Prince just kind of moved into position there, just in case he was needed. Again, it just this point I'd actually managed to wipe out all of the Warriors of Chaos, but just had characters left. But they had some ridiculous saves in there, which is pretty tricky. The Chimera, it ended up breaking the Iron Blaster, but just couldn't quite catch it there. And I think this is coming up to the bottom of turn 6. I just reformed him. By this point, I had about 2 Man-Eaters left, and we called the game at this point. So that was that. It ended up being a pretty big victory for him. He had a fair bit of points left on the table. So there you go. If you want to find out more, check us out at bullcitywargaming.com. More of these kind of things.